You got Amanda Nunes winning her match against Irene Aldana, retiring with both of the belts in the cage, saying that she's the greatest forever now, and anybody else that comes after her will always have a fake belt. Thoughts on her legendary career and what it means for the UFC's women's divisions going forward?
Well, they're going to be a fake belt probably for the first year, and then after that, you can shut that fake belts. You're not forever. Two, it's going to take some years for some of the girls to get to her level. I kind of agree with that. She is beatable. She let Pena beat her, but she came back and destroyed her. So she could have been the greatest ever if she didn't lose a fight. But the fact that she's now beatable, that to me just means the next person that holds the belts pretty good and defend them and go undefeated is going to be the one that they're going to say is better than her. So we'll see.
Well, it's gonna take an awful lot. Nobody's ever. It's not possible. It's not going to be possible for anybody at those weight classes to build a resume the likes of what she's amassed, or a Cyborg for that matter, for what she's amassed.
Yeah.
I mean, when you have names on your resume from Miesha Tate to Ronda Rousey to Cyborg herself, and everybody else after and in between, I mean, that is a resume that's not going to be touched. Not to mention 2 victories over Valentina Shevchenko, who will probably get that belt next. Let's be honest. She's probably going to move up and fight for the 135 belt and get that belt. Let's be honest. Unless there's somebody big enough to hold her down and make things tough for her. But that being said, you mentioned the Julianna Pena fight. You mentioned how Amanda fought very dumb and got beat by Pena. All respect to Pena. She was in there. She took the shots. She got it done. Yep. But then she was outclassed by a tremendous margin after that. And in the rematch, the trilogy was supposed to play out, but she pulled out of the fight for injury. And that's why Amanda fought Irene Aldana. Well, now that she's retired, Pena's, she's been on a tirade or a media tour saying she's the best, and perhaps Amanda was scared of her and she retired. But this is Julianna Pena on Ariel Helwani's MMA Hour.
So it's just a matter of time before the belt's around my waist again.
Do you really think she's retiring because she's afraid of you?
I would say that, she has to earn her money the hard way. You know what I mean? Like she's gotta, she knows, what's at risk. A tap.
Wow.
She knows that she's going to be in there for a long night. And when she was at the press conference with Irene, she said, "Oh, I'm so glad that Irene is now in the fight because it's less heavy for me." That's what she said. It was less heavy for her. Now, what does she mean by that? She knows what's at risk. She knows that I'm a threat. She knows that the Pena power is coming for her. And that during that fight of 25 minutes, I came for her the entire time. I was throwing up arm bars. I had her in a deep arm bar in round 4. I never stopped fighting, and I was in her face the entire time, and I ran out of time. And so she knows that it's going to be a hard night.
Let's be honest, bro. In the rematch, Julianna Pena did not look like she belonged in there with Nunes. But she still landed a few good shots here and there, and she did damage Nunes' eye a lot more than what we can say from what Aldana did, because Aldana did nothing. She did fuck all. So, but that being said, at least Pena was in there and went after it, even though she was completely outclassed. But what level of delusion is she on right now, in your opinion?
On a scale of 1 to 10, she's 10. I guarantee she probably caught wind that this might be her last fight, the lioness' last fight. So if she lost the second time, she couldn't have this fucking conversation of her being the belts, this, and that. She caught wind that she was retiring. She said, "There's no point in me fighting her because I can beat anybody else underneath her. So I'm just going to sit this fight out and fake an injury and then get these belts." That's my opinion. That's how I see it, bro. I think she faked an injury. I think she heard that it was a retirement. So now she could sit here and say this. But if she gets beat by the next girl, it means nothing. It means
Let
nothing.
me just say this before we move on. Julianna Pena seems to think that she's next up because she took down the almighty Nunes. When everybody knows Nunes definitely fought a terrible fight that night. Terrible. And still looked like the better fighter for at least the first round when she was tossing Pena around and busting her up. She gassed out and she got taken out. Fair play to Pena. But she thinks she's next up. Julianna Pena, I don't know if you'll ever see this, probably not. You're not next up. Again, who's next up is Valentina Shevchenko. Not only is she going to come up and get this belt, but stop forgetting the fact that she's already fought you and finished you.